So what we do is we help animals that are at risk of being euthanized. These are animals that have been abused or neglected, or they come from overcrowded shelters. And by transporting them in the aircraft or ground transport, we give them a possibility of being adopted by a loving family. I started Pilots to Rescue back in 2015 to combine my love of aviation and rescuing animals.
Beautiful.
So when I started the organization and raised money, we purchased our first aircraft, which is a 1976 Piper Lance. These are 6-passenger, single-engine piston aircraft. And we continued with those type of aircraft up until, we got this Kodiak.
The other airplanes, they just, we could only take a number of dogs, depending on the weight and the size and a couple different factors, we'd be limited to maybe 12, 2 dozen dogs or so. And so with this, we'll be able to take 2 or 3 times the amount of animals, which would be really awesome. So this has been just a huge game changer for us, or it will be.
Hello, my name is Michael Schneider. I'm the founder, executive director, and top dog pilot at Pilots to Rescue.
So my name is Vikingur Thorsteinsson. I'm a volunteer pilot with Pilots to the Rescue. I've been with the company for about 1.5 to 2 years. And my job is basically just to fly the missions and rescue the puppies.
When we were looking for turboprops and we were first started doing a search for caravans and we were speaking to the different acquisition people within caravans, we found out that our budget was too limiting. That's when we started looking at the Kodiaks, because the price point, the entry point, was a good $500,000 to $1 million lower. So we reached out to Mark because he is the Kodiak guy. We were looking for something on the lower price point. We couldn't necessarily afford a new Kodiak, and there were lengthy delays for new Kodiaks. The market is extremely tight, so Mark's expertise came in handy with acquiring the right Kodiak for our budget. Mark started his search for the right Kodiak. He knew it was going to be a legacy Kodiak, the original version. That type of Kodiak comes with some older equipment, namely the S-Tech Autopilot. We knew that we wanted to retrofit it with the latest avionics, namely a Garmin GFC 700, and upgrade the avionics that are in there from a G1000 to G1000 NXI. We also found out, unfortunately, that the aircraft didn't have air conditioning. So that's something that's vital to our operations, especially when we go down south. So we had those 3 key upgrades that we needed. That's where Mark really came in handy, not just recommending the shop to do the upgrades and being able to leverage his relationships and trust with that shop, but also being able to leverage the factory, Daher, in giving us the equipment and the paperwork that we needed to actually retrofit this autopilot. And it's not such an easy task. I don't think we would, actually I know we would not have been able to do it on our own or with someone else. We now have what is practically a brand new Kodiak. I mean, we were flying the other day and Mark made a comment like, I can't tell the difference sitting here between this Kodiak and another one. Obviously, the paint job may be aging a little bit, but on the interior, we basically have what is like a brand new Kodiak with the avionics and the stuff we put in there.
Mark actually came here to our home airport, gave us a very extensive ground school. He's training all our pilots, both ground and flight, which has been super awesome and super beneficial, especially that we're getting to do it in our own backyard where we're doing the flying.
Mark with 11 Aviation is a full service solution. Not only did he do the acquisition and the retrofit of this aircraft, he also gave us the insurance connection, and the insurance company that he uses, Travers, recognizes Mark Brown as a trainer for this aircraft, as well as mentor pilots for Kodiaks. He has all that solution provided. So Mark came out here to Caldwell in Essex County, New Jersey, and he trained 7 of our pilots, including myself. And it comes at a lower cost than if you were to go to flight safety or some of these other training facilities. And he has a great relationship with the insurance carrier, the broker. So it makes it easy on us understanding what's required for our pilots to get checked out. And you're learning from the best. Mark has over 8,000 hours. He knows this aircraft inside and out. So he's going to focus on and hone in on the details and fill in the weaknesses of pilots that is most important.
I'm going to stall the airplane, but instead of recovering, I'm going to keep it in a stall. All right? I'm going to do a left and then a right turn in the stall. You would never do that in any other airplane, okay? So I'm going to bring the torque back to 300 pounds.
You said for the purposes of our training, 300 is considered like flight idle.
Like basically, like if we had an engine failure and we feathered the prop, this is how the airplane would fly. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna let her come back, 6,500. I have that annoying horn the whole time. That's just is what it is. All right, so this is flaps clean. I should get a stall in the 60s. All right, so you feel that buffet? That's the stall right there. If you want to just feel the yoke, try to bring it any further back. We can't really do it, right? That's as far as it goes, okay? So I'm in a stall right now. I have not dropped a wing. I'm gonna purposely turn it to the left. I'm gonna purposely turn it back to the right.
So stable.
I'm gonna cross control it.
That's insane. So stable.
Nothing, right? And I'm in a full stall. Okay, I'm gonna come out of it.
That's wild. That felt so stable. I wouldn't trust that in any other plane.
Oh yeah, any other airplane you would have spun it right there.
Instrument approaches we can do on our own, but getting stall demos and seeing what the aircraft can do and how safe and reliable it is, that's not something that flight safety necessarily will get you.
So far, the training has been absolutely incredible for this. Working with Mark has been really awesome. You can learn a ton from reading the books. You can, but ultimately, when it comes to flying, you learn so much from just time and experience. So working with somebody like Mark who has just so much experience in the plane has been really, really helpful. And especially when it comes to just technique, right? Every plane you flies a little bit differently. So, having somebody who knows the technique of the plane. Yesterday they were doing stalls, and this is a pretty big airplane to be doing pretty aggressive stalls in. But to have somebody that's proficient enough to show us, hey, you can take the plane to this capability. Also, something I really appreciate is not focusing on unimportant stuff. We don't have an infinite amount of time, and we want to focus on what's important, which is really nice to have somebody who's kind of distilled the training course down to what's really important, focus on that, and then not worry about some of the less relevant stuff for getting up to speed and flying the airplane safely, which is really awesome.
The Kodiak is a massive upgrade for our operation. I mean, this just puts us on another level.
We've been waiting quite a while for this thing, so now, the future's looking real bright, real exciting for us. It took a little while to get it, but now that we have it, I'm really excited. Just in terms of the capabilities, obviously we're going to be able to do so much more. It's really kind of like a rubber stamping for the organization. The organization's been growing year over year, rescuing more animals, bringing on more people, doing more exciting, bigger things. And now, this is kind of almost like a big, validation for, where we're going.
Often people ask us how they can get involved in Pilots to the Rescue. We have an active volunteer transport board. Not everybody can afford a Kodiak, obviously, but a lot of pilots have access to rental fleet aircraft or flying club. And we also need drivers. We do a lot of ground transport. It doesn't always make sense to dispatch aviation resources. So if you have a car and you can drive, you can help us out. So you go to pilotstotherescue.org. It's pilots with an S, TOTHE rescue.org. And you sign up as a volunteer, and you'll receive a notification when we have a mission in your area. And then I would also encourage people to go to your local shelter, adopt, don't shop. Open up your home with loving arms to a rescue dog or cat, and watch what happens in your life when you start volunteering. It's very rewarding.